Hi. So here in this set we have Princess, Queen, Rani and Samragni were the four finalists in a dance competition. Ashman, Badal, Gagan and Dew were the four music composers who individually assigned items to the dancers. Each dancer had to individually perform in two dance items assigned by the different composers. Okay. So each performer is performing twice. So there will be total 8 performances. Okay. And for each performer who is performing twice, the two performances would be assigned by two different directors. A person cannot have both the performances assigned by the same composer, not director, composer. So there will be two different composers for two different performances for each dancer. Okay? The first items performed by the first four dancers were all assigned by different music composers. So the first performance of each dancer is assigned by a different composer. Okay. Next, no dancer performed her second item before the performance of the first item by any other dancers. What this means is that the first four performances would be we have total 8 performances, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Out of these 8 performances, the first 4 performances would be the first of each dancer, and the next 4 performances would be the second dance for each dancer. This is the first dance for each of the 4 dancers, and this will be the second dance for each of the 4 dancers. Now the dancers perform the second items in the same sequence of the performance as the performance of the first items. Okay. Whatever the sequence was here for the 4 dancers, the same sequence will be there for the next 4 dancers as well. Okay. Fine. Let's look at this thing. No composer who assigned item to princess assigned any item to queen. Okay. So whoever assigned to princess did not assign to queen. Basically, princess and queen will not have the same composers. Princess will have 2 different composers. Queen will have 2 different composers. So we'll have total 4 different composers assigning items to princess and queen. Total 4 would be there. 2 different here, 2 different here, and there would be nothing common between these two and these two. Okay. Next. No composer assigned any item to Rani, assigned any item to Samragni. So again, Rani and Samragni will also not have common composers. No common composers. No common composer between princess and queen. No common composer between Rani and Samragni. Check. Next, the first performance was by princess. This was assigned by Badal. Okay. So we have princess as the first performance, which was assigned by Badal. So if princess is the first performance, in the 5th performance will also be by princess, because sequence of dancers in the first 4 is same as sequence of dancers in the next 4, right? But this will not be assigned by Badal. Each dancer is assigned 2 items by different composers. So this will definitely not be Badal. Definitely not Badal. Like the last performance was by Rani and this item was assigned by Gagan. So last performance, the 8th performance was by Rani and this was assigned by Gagan. That means the 4th performance will also be by Rani, but this will definitely not be by Gagan. Okay? Okay, next. The items assigned by Ashman were performed consecutively. The number of performances between items assigned by each of the remaining composers was same. Okay. So now for Ashman, we are given that Ashman made both his performances consecutively. Okay. So consecutively cannot appear in the first 4, because in the first 4 we are given each of them was assigned items by different composers. See, right? The first 4 were assigned by different music composers. So if at all Ayushman's performances are consecutively, it can be either 4-5, 5-6, 6-7 or 7-8. 1, 2, 3, 4 possibilities. So let's start with 7-8. Is it possible to have Ayushman assigning 7 and 8? Well, after that you also need to satisfy this condition. This condition is the number of performances between items assigned by each of the remaining composers was same. So if this is Badal, Badal cannot come in these 4. Badal will come either, if not at 5, Badal has to come at 6. So the number of performances between the performance of Badal will be 1, 2, 3 and 4. So if there are 4 performances between both the performances of Badal, it means that there will be exactly 4 performances between performance of any other any other music composer. So anyways, this is Gagan, so Ayushman cannot be the last 2. So that's actually, I did not see this. If it is Gagan, Ayushman cannot definitely be 7, 8. Can Ayushman be 6 and 7? If this is 6 and 7, if these are the performances by Ayushman, then where do we keep Badal? It's not necessary to keep Badal, but in any case, the number of performances between items assigned by each of the remaining composers was the same. So what this means is effectively that if in the first 4 we have all 4 different 4 different composers, in the last 4 also we should have all 4 different composers. Why? Because if we have 4 different composers and it's given that the number of performances between items assigned by each of the remaining composers was same. So except Ayush is definitely composing 2 items. Except Ayush, there are 2 performances by each of the remaining composers. That is why we will have same number of performances between the performance of any 2 remaining composers. So there should be at least 2 performances by each of the remaining 3 composers. So if here each composer gives exactly 1 performance, here also each composer should give exactly 1 performance. So we'll have 4 different composers here and 4 different composers here. So how is it possible that you can have a particular composer composing consecutively? How is that possible? That is only possible if Ayushman assigns item 4 or dance number 4 and dance number 5. This is the only way possible, correct? And for the remaining people, the number of dance or the number of performances in between any 2 performance is same for any other composer. So if this is Badal over here, what is the other dance that Badal can assign? Badal should now assign dance number 6, because in the first 4 we have Badal and Ayush. Apart from Badal and Ayush, we have Gagan and Dew. So we'll have either Gagan over here or Dew over here, and likewise either Dew over here or Gagan over here. Okay. So if we have Gagan over here at the second place, if this is Gagan, so the number of composer or number of performances between 2 performances of Gagan is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we have total 5 performances. So between Badal's performances also we should have 5 performances, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this should be Badal and this should be Dew then in that case. But now the number of performances between 2 performances of Dew is just 2. So this cannot be Gagan. This cannot be Gagan. So Gagan has to assign performance number 3. Hence Dew has to assign performance number 2. Now if this is Badal, the number of, or let's look at Gagan, the number of performances between 2 performances of Gagan is 4. So for Badal the number of performances in between should be 4. So item or the dance number 6 should be assigned by Gagan and dance number 7 should be assigned by Dew. Fine. And now let's look at who can be performing dance number 2 or 3. So Princess is assigned dances by Badal and Ayush. So if Princess is assigned dances by Badal and Ayush, that means Queen cannot be assigned items by Badal or Ayush. right? So sorry, I made a mistake. This should have been Badal and not Gagan. Gagan is already done, right? So this should be Badal. So between two performances of Badal, there are 4 people. Okay, Badal. Now, Queen cannot be assigned an item by Badal. So this cannot be Queen. That means Queen has to be performing dance number 7. Hence, this should be Samragini. Right? And we know they have to be in the same order. The first 4 have to be in the same order as the next 4. So this must be Samragini and this must be Queen. So this is the sequence for the dancers and the composers. Let's look at the questions now. First, which of the following is true? Second performance was composed by Gagan. No, this is not true. Third was composed by Ashman. Not true. Second was performed by Dew. Yes, correct. So option C is the correct answer for the first question. Okay. Next question. Which of the following is false? Rani did not perform in any item composed by Badal. So Rani performed in an item by Ayush and Rani performed in an item by Gagan. So this is actually true. Next, Princess did not perform in any item composed by Dew. Princess performed in items of Badal and Ayush, Anshman. So this is also true. Samragini did not perform in any item composed by Ashman. So Samragini performed in items composed by Dew and Badal. So this is also actually true. And last option, Queen did not perform in any item by Gagan. So Queen here performed in an item by Gagan. So this statement is false. Hence this is the correct answer to this question. Next, the sixth performance was composed by Badal. Option D, right? And finally, which pair of performances were composed by the same composer? Okay, second and sixth. Second is by Dew and sixth is by Badal. So this is not correct. Next, third and the seventh. Third is by Gagan and seventh is by Dew. So this is also not correct. First and the seventh, first is by Badal, seventh is by Dew, not correct. First and the sixth, first is by Badal, sixth is by Badal, so this is correct. Option D is the correct answer here. Okay, so that's it for this set. Thank you.